my name is Eve Brown, and I'm here to share my Inspiring Arts and Arts Education project. I want to first start off with, when it comes to education, the arts play an essential role in learning. The arts do not only motivate students, but it strengthens their learning across all subject areas. When students engage in the arts, like drawing, drama, music, dance, and creative writing even, it can help activate necessary skills, like critical thinking, it helps improve memory, and it builds emotional and social skills. All of these are necessary for whether it's going to be secondary education for the students, or if it's going to be workplace necessary skills. It helps prepare them for the future that they're going to lead. These benefits also do not only apply to an arts classroom, but they bleed into other subject areas. As an example, students who can analyze characters in drama class become better at interpreting texts in an English-based class. Similar to those students, ones who are able to create patterns and different visual appealing images in visual arts typically tend to have a better sense of mathematical reasoning. They have this ability to recognize the patterns that mathematical problems go on to do. Now, I understand stepping outside of your teacher comfort zone can be a bit scary, can be a bit overwhelming. For me personally, it's all about me not wanting to mess up and not be able to deliver to the kids that I'm teaching. But it doesn't have to be a big, scary jump right into, here's an art assignment that goes right into what this education, to this English or math class that you're looking at. It can be small. It can start super, super small. As a great example, for like a science class, instead of having them write down all of their scientific notes during like an experiment or even a demonstration, have them draw it. Just kind of show the image of what the setup is so that they can understand what the setup looks like, and they can reference back onto it easily, like a titration setup. They can draw the spout, the little beaker with the color change. It's really easy to incorporate art that way on a day-to-day basis. Another example is that just using infographics, diagrams, have the kids label and color them, similar to like a social studies classroom where we all had to color a map of Canada. Oh, that's not my favorite. Personally though, art throughout the years has always been a part of my educational journey, so being able to develop and build that into other curricular classrooms could definitely help with students who are more artistic based like myself. It just gives them a level of comfort, a different way to communicate, a different way to make those connections to show their proof of learning. So a great way to start incorporating visual arts into other subject areas can be as simple as doing some art activities within a math class. So I was inspired by the artist Tony Robbins. A lot of his work is solid geometric patterns that he then overlays slightly off skew of silver wire to make a 3D aspect to it. I just took from his 2D geometric style to kind of incorporate it into a math class. Specifically, the math class that we'd be working with in this scenario would be workplace and apprenticeship math. One of their outcomes is WA 10.5, which demonstrates using concrete and pictorial models and symbolic representations, understanding of area, 2D shapes, and surface area 3D objects. Typically, this is done in imperial units, but my mock-up I did in centimeters, just kind of show basic round hole numbers on how to do it. This also covers the art outcome 10.3, experiment with various art practices to develop new or unique ideas. So essentially what we have here is I cut out a triangle, right angle, and then a square. I stuck with 10 centimeters being the height and width of the square, and then height and base of the triangle as well. So essentially when they line up together, they're going to be the same length across both sides. What the students are initially going to do is they are going to lay out the square and bigger triangle, trace them, and create these different shapes, ideally overlapping. So as you can see, I kind of did square, square, laid a triangle in there as well, to get those ones overlapped, laid a triangle, and then just did connector lines where I needed to. Once that's done, the students can have a quick moment to color it in. I use paint markers just to get that bold color for camera. And then the next thing they're going to do is, ideally if they overlapped it correctly, they're going to have all these different shapes that will equal the half of the base and width, half of the height and base. So I made a triangle and a square that is half the length on one side, but only takes up a quarter of the space. This is where you kind of challenge them a little bit more with math. So essentially what they can do is they're going to take these bigger and smaller pieces to kind of figure out how to figure out the different areas of your shape, but the total area of the shape they created as well. So what I did down here on the bottom is I took my first little diamond set that I made here, and I calculated the area based off of two things. So I put together the two squares, knowing that I have two big squares, but they overlap. So what I did was I took the smaller square, put it in there, figured it out that I have to remove one of these because of that overlapping, and that's what I created down here on the bottom. So here was one way that I figured out the area of this little diamond spot. Two big squares minus one small square equals total area. So I did the math and showed that this little section is 175 centimeters. I also did it with 7 small squares, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, to show that that also equals the same area. Essentially what I wanted to accomplish with this lesson was to get the students to start thinking about area and space in more of an artistic, shape-based way, and so that they could also do it in different ways to come to the correct answer. And if you're curious, I use these shapes to figure out this whole total area of this massive square, and it was 425 centimeters. But that's my little art lesson about how to incorporate how to incorporate art into a math classroom. Thank you for listening.